Okay, hopefully I'm live here. Gonna get the audacity going. And here we are. This is formerly known as Mondays with Mike. This is just Mike's football reaction show. This is where I recap all of the matchups that happen in the NFL week by week, usually whenever I can get around to it, depending on what my work and my sleep schedule allows. I just kind of provide the scores, the stats, the storylines of every matchup that happened Sunday and Monday to the best of my ability and kind of provide worthy reactions and go from there. So I don't think we tackled the Thursday night game from last week. That was the Packers and the 49ers. Packers dominated this one pretty heavily. A lot of the Niners were out because of COVID. Aaron Rodgers, 25 for 31, 305, four TDs, no picks. The rushing game, a lot of people thought Aaron Jones weren't going to play. Weren't. Well, he weren't going to play. Wasn't going to play. I was one of them. I started Tyler Irvin in my fantasy team and got fucking chewed up and spit out for that. Wonderful. Aaron Jones, 15 for 58, but there's really nothing going on the ground. But Devontae Adams again, you can't stop the man. 10 receptions for 173 yards and a score. MVS, 2 for 53 and 2. And then Mercedes Lewis, 1 for 1 and 1, my favorite. Then you got Zadarius Smith, who had a sack. Raven Green with a pick as well. But pretty much run-of-the-mill Packers beating. Niners, Nick Mullins goes in there, 22 for 35, 299, 1 and 1. Sorry, 291, 1 and 1. Not his worst performance by any stretch, but certainly, I mean, it's the Niners, even with all these injuries, you got to think that maybe they, even if they had just a competent quarterback, they could potentially be, 6-3. Jerick McKinnon, 12 for 52 and 1. Really the only prolific rusher on that team. And Richie James, 9 for 184 and 1. Richie James had an awesome catch right in the middle, left him wide open, and he burned him for quite a bit. It was pretty much in the early going of the game. Aside from that, pretty pedestrian numbers from the rest of this squad. Really nothing special. And the one sack goes to Jordan Willis. Robbie Gold 1 for 1 on field goals as well, but honestly, this was the Packers game to lose here, and they certainly won. Texans Jaguars, they kept it close. Two teams, one of whom certainly underachieving in this division, one that we kind of expected to be this bad. Texans take the win here, 27-25. Deshaun Watson, 19 for 32, 281 and 2. So not a terrible performance, but not quite breaker worthy. Deshaun Watson again, though, 50 on the ground, not a score. Duke Johnson, 16 for 41 and a score. And David Johnson, 2 for 16 and nothing. I'm afraid to tell you right now, David Johnson is donezo. That he had his cool comeback game against Kansas City, and I thought, okay, he's cooking again. And no, David Johnson is right back down to earth. It is confirmed he's done about all he can do. Will Fuller, 5 for 101. Brandon Cooks, 3 for 83 and 1 through the air here. And Vernon Hargreaves with an interception. I believe he was a former Buccaneer. I think he was taken in that 2016 draft we talk about. Zach Cunningham with a sack, as well as J.J. Watt with a sack. This defense is old. They've been kind of relying on these guys for a long time now. Kai Fairbairn with 2 field goals. Jake Luton, however you say it, was in for the injured Gardner Minshew, who broke his thumb. It's not even been confirmed. He doesn't even confirm to have this, or isn't even confirmed to have the starting job when he comes back. Is what the rumors are saying. So Jake Luton was in, 26 for 38, 304, 1 and 1 with 1 carry for 13 yards and a score on the ground as well. James Robinson, 25 for 99 and 1. DJ Shark, 7 for 146 and 1. And I want to go back real quick. I want to see how much Devontae Adams has on the season, because he's putting up some stats as of late. I know he missed a few games this year. 675 on the season so far, 8 touchdowns. He's a beast. No, tremendous. Just tremendous. Moving on. Let's see here. Few sacks on the Jacksonville side. Joe Schobert with a half sack. Trey Herndon with a sack. Josh Allen with a half sack. Okay, 2 sacks total. Nothing crazy, but No, closer one here, but both teams not even fighting for anything really. Ravens destroyed the Bengals. No, I'm sorry. That's the wrong week. Giants edge out the Washington football team. Daniel Jones, 23 for 34, 212 and 1. That's very pedestrian. He was Skyler's breaker, and not quite breaker worther. Breaker worther. Wayne Gallman, 14 for 68 and 1. Alfred Morris, former Redskin, uh, 9 for 67. I keep forgetting he's still around. Remember, he's got the Redskins. I think he's got the season record. The single season record for Redskins rushing yards. Hmm. Wow, he's bounced around more teams than I thought. He was on the Cardinals last year and the Niners the year before that. I remember he went to the Cowboys and then I forgot. I forgot he existed. Unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, 16-13 rushing yards that first year. Damn. Crazy. Anyway, yeah, they're trying to get something going. Deion Lewis is on the squad too. I remember he had a good year in New England a couple years back. Austin Mack, 4 for 72, nothing. Evan Ingram, 5 for 48 and 1. That's really it. The defense, Logan Ryan with a pick, Jabril Peppers with a pick, Blake Martinez with a pick, Leonard Williams with a sack, Isaac Yiadom and Delvin Tomlinson with a half sack apiece. And Graham Gano, a former Redskin as well, 3 for 3 in field goals. Alex Smith, 24 for 32, 325, 1 and 3 on the day. Kyle Allen gets destroyed out there. And I actually have not seen the footage of this. I worry I'm going to regret it. But let's take a look. Gruesome leg injury versus Giants. Watch along at home. Or don't, because actually then you probably wouldn't be able to watch me unless you're on a computer.
At a time. We'll show you the field goal in a moment. Kyle Allen as the Washington quarterback.
Okay. His leg was under him when he fell down. No, dude. Don't show the leg. Don't show the leg. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. I'm ready to hit the, because I worry his leg's going to wave goodbye to me. Okay. No, thank you. Fucking fuck. Antonio Gibson. I hate this shit. Virgil Green had a similar thing when he landed with a touchdown catch against Jacksonville a couple weeks ago. Antonio Gibson, 6 for 20 and a score. Terry McLaurin, 7 for 115 and a score. Let me see his stats too. Yeah, 692. Damn. Just the touchdowns aren't there because he doesn't have a fucking quarterback. Makes me sad. I love Terry McLaurin. Cam Sims, 3 for 110. So he was catching some deep ones. Cameron Curl with a sack. Jonathan Allen with a half a sack. I'm not seeing Chase Young with a sack as well. Tim Settle with a sack. And Ryan Kerrigan with a half sack. But nah, this was two pedestrian teams playing some pedestrian football. And somehow the football team is actually still ahead of the Giants by like a half a game. Crazy. Daniel Jones is 4-0 against the football team. And he is 1-17 against everybody else. Ravens 24-10 over the Colts. Both tough teams looking to be in the playoff mix here. Lamar Jackson, very pedestrian passing stats, 19 for 23, 170, 0-0, but he had 13 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Gus Edwards, 11 for 23 on the ground. J.K. Dobbins busted, as I said, 12 for 30, as Mark Ingram is still hurt. Receiving game, I mean, not much to really go around here. Nick Boyle, 4 for 46. Hollywood Brown, 3 for 38 and 0. So Brady's bust pick for him was correct and indeed on the nose. And for the defense, Marcus Peters with another pick. And that's, I mean, no sacks, no other picks there. Justin Tucker has a defensive stat there. I guess they threw him, I don't know, some gadget play. He's got 1 for 1 on field goals. Phillip Rivers, 25 for 43, 227, 0 and 1. There's a Phillip Rivers, old Phillip Rivers stat line. Jordan Wilkins, 13 for 39 and 0. Jonathan Taylor, 6 for 27 and 1. Michael Pittman, 4 for 56, leading the receiving here. But not a whole lot to go around here. Let's see. Al-Kadeen Muhammad with a sack. And Danico Autry with a sack. DeForest Buckner, 2 tackles, 3 assists. Darius Leonard, 13 tackles and 2 assisted on the defense here. And Rodrigo Blankenship, 1 for 1 on field goals. But this was a pretty handy Baltimore beating. Let's see here. Vikings beat the Lions 34-20. Matt Stafford, 23 for 32, 211, 1 and 2. Chase Daniel comes in, throws for 94, 1 and 1. DeAndre Swift, 13 for 64. Nobody scoring on the ground here. Adrian Peterson, I think we're willing to say he's pretty much spent as well. Danny Amendola, 7 for 77. Marvin Jones, 3 for 43 and 1. TJ Hawkinson, 5 for 39 and 1. Not a whole heck of a lot going on here. Desmond Trufant with a sack. And that's really it. Matt Prater, 2 for 3. Kirk Cousins, 13 for 20, 220 and 3. Dalvin Cook, 22 for 206 and 2. Justin Jefferson, 3 for 64. Amir Abdullah, 1 for 22 and 1. Irv Smith Jr., 2 for 10 and 2. So 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. They made it count with him. Eric Wilson, half a sack and a pick. Harrison Smith with a pick. Eric Kendricks with a pick. Armin Watts with half a sack. Shamar Stephen with half a sack. And Hercules Mataafa with half a sack as well. Dan Bailey, no field goals needed. Let's see. Bears, Titans. Titans demolished. Well, I shouldn't say demolished. They edge out the Bears. 24-17. Nick Foles, 36 of 52. 335, 2 and 0. Not terrible. The running game is terrible, though. David Montgomery, 14 for 30. Again, I can seriously say drop him in your fantasy leagues. It doesn't matter if he's getting the most carries. This guy sucks. Allen Robinson, 7 for 81 and 0. Anthony Miller, 5 for 59. Jimmy Graham, 6 for 55 and 1. And Ryan Null, 4 for 35 and 1. The defense, Roquan Smith with a sack, Mario Edwards Jr. with a sack, Bilal Nichols with a sack. No picks to be seen here. Cairo Santos, 1 for 1. And then the Titans, Tannehill, 10 for 21, 158 and 2. Derrick Henry stifled up, 21 for 68. Not a good day for him. A.J. Brown, 4 for 101 and 1. Jonnu Smith, 2 for 32 and 1. Yeah. Jayon Brown with a sack, Daquan Jones with half a sack, Harold Landry with a sack, Rashawn Evans with half a sack as well. And Gostowski, 1 for 1, perfect on the day as the Titans take the win there against Chicago. Titans move to 6-2. They're a game ahead of Indianapolis in that division. Panthers Chiefs. This was I almost picked the Panthers to upset the Chiefs here, and they almost did. 31-33. Chiefs take the victory here. They moved to 8-1. But Teddy Bridgewater, 36 for 49, 310, 2 and 0. As I keep saying, the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. Christian McCaffrey, welcome back, 18 for 69 and 1. Teddy Bridgewater, 2 for 19 and 1 on the ground. And then in the air, Curtis Samuel, 9 for 105 and 1. Christian McCaffrey, 10 for 82 and 1. Robbie Anderson, 9 for 63. And on the defense, Sam Franklin with a sack. And that would be it as far as sacks and picks go. Joe Sly, 1 for 3 on the day, which, I mean, being a Chargers fan, I understand it. You know, you see the missed points there. You kind of equate that to, God, we could have won if. But, you just got to move on. Pat Mahomes, 30 for 45, 372 and 4 touchdowns. Nothing going for the running game. And I will say the Panthers, from when we played them earlier in the year, they defend the run very passionately. CEH, 5 for 14 and 0. That's your lead scorer, right, or lead rusher right there. Terrible. Travis Kelce, 10 for 159 and 0. Tyreek Hill, 9 for 113 and 2. Mecole Hardman, 3 for 48 and 0. Demarcus Robinson, 3 for 34 and 1. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 3 for 20 and 1 through the air. Let's see. Frank Clark with a sack, Chris Jones with a sack. That pass rushing tandem, they're one of the best duos in the whole dang league. Harrison Butker 2 for 3 on the night. Seahawks Bills. A lot of my Brady and Skyler are both pissed about this one. Bills take the victory 44-34. Big high scoring shootout. But that defense gave up 44 points. Damn, dude. Russell Wilson, 28 for 41, 392 and 2. Very rare for Russ to make mistakes like that. DJ Dallas, 7 for 31 and 1. Russell Wilson, 2 for 5 and 1 on the ground. DK Metcalf, 7 for 108 and 1. David Moore, 4 for 71 and 1. Travis Homer, 3 for 64. Worth noting. But Lockett, notably quiet, 4 for 40. Quentin, let's see, actually. Bobby Wagner with a sack. Jamal Adams with a sack and a half. Jerron Reed with 2.5 sacks. KJ Wright with a sack. But not doing much to stop the team from putting points up. Jason Myers, 2 for 2. And the Bills, Josh Allen, 31 for 48, 415 and 3. Zach Moss, 9 for 18 and 1. Josh Allen, 7 for 14 and 1. Bills rushing game, not the best so far. Stephon Diggs, 9 for 118 and no score. John Brown, 8 for 99 and no score. Gabriel Davis, 4 for 70 and 1. Isaiah McKenzie, 1 for 25 and 1. And Kevin Tyler, 1 for 1 and 1. My favorite. Tremaine Edmonds with a sack, Jordan Poyer with a pick, Trey White with a pick, AJ Klein with 2 sacks, Mario Addison with a sack, Jerry Hughes with a sack. Big days here. Tyler Bass, however you say it, 3 for 4 on the day. Bills with the win there. Falcons Broncos. Falcons take the victory 34-21. I believe they're actually I think they're 3-1 now since Dan Quinn got fired. Coincidence? I think not. At the half, they were actually up 20-3 on the Broncos. So almost choked away one. Drew Lock, 25 for 48, 313, 2 and 1. Yeah. Drew Lock on the ground, 7 for 47 and 1. No one else really doing anything on the ground, including Melvin Gordon, which makes me laugh. Jerry Jeudy, 7 for 125 and 1. Big breakout game for Jerry Jeudy. Unlike the ones he's had before, this was a wide receiver 1 performance, if I've seen one. Tim Patrick, 4 for 29 and 1. KJ Hamler, 6 for 75. That's your second round rookie right there. Nobody else really doing much on the passing game. Let's see. Justin Simmons with the pick. DeMarcus Walker with a sack. Jermont Jones with a sack. And Brandon McManus, 2 for 2. Matt Ryan, 25 for 35, 284, 3 and 1. Todd Gurley, 19 for 53 and 1. Olamide, holy shit. That's a name. Olamide Zacchaeus, 4 for 103 and 1. Hayden Hurst, 7 for 62. Julio Jones, 5 for 54 and 1. Foyesade Olokun with a sack. And Ricardo Allen with a pick. Younghoe Koo, 2 for 2. I know how to pronounce that one because he fucking cost my team 2 games before we kicked his ass out. Atlanta picking up the victory over Denver. Raiders, Chargers gonna charge, dude. They they did some Charger things here. Almost had the win. Looked like it was going to be a Donald Parham touchdown in the end zone at the end, and the replays show that he coughed it up. So what was thought to be a game-winning touchdown pass was, in fact, not. Again, Gus Bradley's defense gives up 30-plus points. The only thing I got to say is, while we gave up a lead, it was not a double-digit lead. We just give up any kind of lead because this team underachieves, because the coaching doesn't fucking care. Nobody in that organization cares, and neither do I. I was more upset about the Jets losing because I cared more now about being right about a fucking tinfoil hat conspiracy theory than I do about my actual team winning a fucking football game. Because as long as I know in my head that as long as these coaches are here, as long as Anthony Lynn is still allowed to fucking have a job and act like everything's okay, and fucking Gus Bradley's allowed to coast on his fucking relevance, and George Stewart is allowed to continue to be the bottom of the barrel as a special teams coordinator, shit's not going to change. So why the fuck should I care? all I can do is, I'm sitting here going, yeah, man, it'd be really great. If the injuries and everything else, we tank so bad that we can draft Penei Sewell from Oregon. Yeah, that'd be cool. Um, but what I want most of all is I just want some fucking heads to start rolling. That's it. That's all I want. I want the fucking culture to be changed. I want some fucking winners in here. I'm so tired of this squad underachieving when on paper they're better than a lot of these fucking teams. Healthy, they are better than these fucking squads. And it doesn't matter because the culture isn't there because nobody gives a shit because our owner's a tightwad. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. Like I said, like fucking during when we lost to Denver last week, I was so heated because I go back to 2018 when we went 8-0, and there are teams that were in infinitely worse positions than mine that are doing so much better and they're playing fun, competitive football. Cleveland and Arizona and Miami and fucking Vegas. It's just Carolina. It looks more promising than we do. It's frustrating. It's that's that's demoralizing, Adam. That right there. Anyway, Derek Carr, 13 for 23, 165 and 2. He was pretty pedestrian, pretty quiet for most of the game, but he had some really good, accurate pinpoint throws. I mean, I'm singing the guy's praises. Don't let the stat line fool you on this one. He was playing some pretty darn good football out there after the first half. Devontae Booker, 8 for 68 and 1. Josh Jacobs, 14 for 65 and 1. Let's see. Hunter Renfrow led with 2 receptions for 60 yards, but nothing really doing. Nelson Aguilar had one of those pinpoint touchdown catches there, 2 for 55. Renfrow actually did. I got to tell you, he had actually a pretty good reception that was just right dialed in. Darren Waller, 5 for 22 in the score as well. And let's see here. Max Crosby with a sack, Carl Nassib with a sack. No picks for Mr. Herbert. Justin Herbert, 28 for 42, 326 and 2. He played phenomenally. Which is why I hate that this team keeps losing games. Because he's just playing so good. Kalen Ballage, 15 for 69 and 1, called up from the practice squad. First game as a Charger. He's already more relevant and useful than Josh Kelly. Go fucking figure. Keenan Allen, 9 for 103 and 1. That's another 100-yard game in his belt. And by the way, all the Mike Evans people, when they were having their little beef about who should be ranked higher in the top 100, fucking blow me. Anyway, Mike Williams, 5 for 81, had a couple of real great catches there. Tyron Johnson had one big one for 50. And Gabe Neighbors had a nice little 4-yard touchdown pass. That's back-to-back weeks with a touchdown for him. Herbert got hit real hard, and when he went down throwing that thing, looked like he wasn't going to be able to come back in at first with his leg. Tyrod Taylor had to come in, try to get the 2-point conversion, and it didn't happen. Oh, he almost had it, but it didn't happen. Jerry Tillery with the 1 sack. He actually, it was a strip. It was a fumble that gave us an instant field goal at the half. And then Badgley, 2 for 3. So, yeah, I think he missed a 48-yarder or something stupid. Yeah, Chargers drop another one. They will move on to face the Dolphins, I think. And I don't know. We're probably going to lose that fucking thing too. So, whatever. Tua Tagovailoa, second start versus the Cardinals. Very, very fun game, as we thought. And as I predicted, both teams hit the 30-point mark. Tua, 20 for 28, 248 and 2. The dude looked great. He was every bit what we didn't think we were going to see after watching him against the Rams. Jordan Howard, 10 for 19 and 1 on the ground. Devontae Parker, 6 for 64 and nothing, but Preston Williams, 4 for 60 and 1, and Mac Hollins, 1 for 11 and 1. Emmanuel Ogbah with a sack. But for the most part, I mean, I think there might have been a fumble in this one, but I can't, it doesn't show on Google. So I'm just trying to speed along here. Jason Sanders, 2 for 2. I always get him and Myers mixed up. Kyler Murray, 21 for 26, 283 and 3. He also had 11 for 106 and 1. Beast game for Kyler Murray. Chase Edmonds, 25 for 70. Christian Kirk, 5 for 123 and 1. Larry Fitzgerald, 4 for 54. Nice to see him, get some catches. Darrell Daniels, 1 for 21 and 1. And Max Williams, former, I believe, first or second round tight end for Baltimore, 1 for 4 and 1. I keep forgetting he exists. I remember I took him on my fantasy team a few years back, and I don't know. I was being stupid. I was a child then. Devondre Campbell with a sack, Marcus Golden with a sack, Josh Morrow with a sack, and no picks, of course. Zane Gonzalez 1 for 2 in the game. Again, when you look at these missed kicks and then you see how close the game was, it sucks, doesn't it? Steelers almost drop one to Garrett Gilbert's Cowboys, but they hang on there. They're 8-0. 24-19. Ben Roethlisberger went down shortly with a concussion. It looked like came back into the game. 29 for 42, 306, 3 and 0. Nobody getting anything done on the ground. Connor 9 for 22. Ugh. I think he was the other breaker performance pick for Skyler, so we kind of whiffed on both. Juju 6 for 93 and 1. Ebron 3 for 22 and 1. James Washington 1 for 17 and 1 as well. Let's see here. Minka Fitzpatrick, 1 pick there. I do remember hearing about that one because Brady was watching that while I was watching my team break my heart again. Cam Hayward, half a sack. Alex Highsmith with a sack, and TJ Watt with a half sack as well. And then Chris Boswell 2 for 2. So Steelers hang on there. They look good. I think they play Burrow and the Bengals next, which I have a feeling might be a trap game for them. But we'll see. As of right now, I don't have the Bengals picked, but I'm thinking about it. Saints demolish the Bucs in embarrassing fashion. Just wow. 38-3. Drew Brees 16 for 32, 222 and 4. Taysom Hill 2 for 2 and 1, and 2 for 2 for 48. And Jameis Winston even threw a pass too, 1 for 1 for 12. Taysom Hill 7 for 54 on the ground. Kamara 9 for 40 and 1. And receiving, Michael Thomas 5 for 51. No score though. Adam Troutman 3 for 39 and 1. Manuel Sanders 4 for 38 and 1. Josh Hill 2 for 14 and 1. Traquan Smith 1 for 14 and 1. And the defense, Malcolm Jenkins with a sack. With a pick. Marcus Williams with a pick. David Onyemata with a pick. Trey Hendrickson with 2 sacks. Malcolm Brown with a sack. Is that Malcolm Brown? Patriots Malcolm Brown? Yeah, okay. Former first-round pick, 32nd overall from Texas. I remember him. That was the 2015 draft. I think that was the draft we took Melvin Gordon. That was the Gurley draft as well. Let's see. Buccaneers. Tom Brady, 22 for 38, 209, 0 and 3. Ronald Jones, 3 for 9 and 0. That was your leading rusher on the day. Actually, I think I said both teams would combine for less than, I gotta add that up now. -2, 3, -6, 4, 43, 83. 83 and 54 is 137 plus the fucking, how much total the Buccaneers have? 8, which would be 145. Both teams combined for less than 150 yards, which I predicted. Barely, but fuck it. I got it right, and I love getting things right because I have a fucking ego. Mike Evans, 4 for 64. Leonard Fournette, 6 for 41. Chris Godwin, 3 for 41. Nobody getting a fucking score here. Man alive. Shaq Barrett with a sack. Mr. Offsides himself. No, I'm just salty about the game we lost to you guys a few weeks ago. Ryan Succop, 1 for 1. 1 for 1 on that game. He's the only guy who scored points for this team. Just embarrassing. Patriots beat the Jets, and I'm so sad. I really wanted my theory to be correct. I really wanted my whole Belichick tanking better than New York thing. Like, hey, you guys can't even lose as good as me. That would have been so fucking funny. And Bill Belichick doesn't understand comedy. Of course he doesn't. The man never smiles. Just fuck my shit up, fam. Um, Cam Newton, 27 for 35, 274, 0 and 0. Rex Burkhead, 12 for 56 and 1. Cam Newton, 10 for 16 and 2. Uh, Jacoby Myers had a big game, 12 for 169. No score, but just a lot of yardage, which is good. He's a young receiver, if I recall. 24 is a year younger than me. How fucking long has he been around? No, nobody's ain't gonna tell me. Two seasons. This is his second season. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is a team that doesn't draft the receiver very well, like at all. They have one. I mean, they have one receiver who's really turned out to be something, and that's Edelman. In the last like 15 years, like Bill Belichick's 0 for life at drafting the receiver. That's why all of his best receivers have been free agents or guys that he picks off of practice squads of other teams, guys like Wes Welker or high profile, trades like Randy Moss. Yeah, Brandon Cooks. Yeah. But good game for him. Dietrich Wise Jr. with a sack, JC Jackson with a pick, but pretty quiet mostly. And the Jets, Joe Flacco played a pretty damn good game. 18 for 25, 262, 3 and 1. He was dropping some dimes. Nothing going on the running game. Not going to talk about it. Rashad Perriman, 5 for 6 for 101 and 2. Denzel Mims, 4 for 62. Jamison Crowder, 2 for 26 and 1. And no sacks, no picks for the defense. What are you, insane? Yeah. So anyway, that is the Week 10 in a nutshell. We've got some interesting matchups this week. Colts Titans in a battle for division supremacy. That should be interesting. Washington Detroit, battle of underachievers. Bucks Panthers. I'm so tempted to pick the Panthers in this one, just because I think they're such a fun, high octane team. Eagles Giants. Giants seem to get better every week, even though they're bad. They're a bunch of nerds. Chargers are going to lose the Dolphins, so who cares? Bills Cardinals, that'll be a fun one. Arizona's looking to have the most fun game of the week, 2 weeks in a row. Seahawks Rams are flying under the radar, pretty huge. Bengals Steelers, that might be my upset of the week. I kind of like the idea of Joe Burrow getting one over on Big Ben. Niners Saints, Ravens Pats, Vikings Bears, who gives a shit? Yeah, week 10 is going to be something weird. We'll be with you Friday for the show, and we'll be predicting all sorts of fun stuff. So kick it with us there. I'm Mike Holm. I'm about to get out of here and go to bed because no bed good. See you later.